Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Cheyenne. I am the face behind Soulful Soothe, a community for Black girls, Black women who have experienced church hurt and want to expand their horizons with spirituality. So today I am bringing you a weekly reading. This one's going to be a little bit shorter than usual just because I'm not in my regular environment, etc. And I think my phone's about to die, but we'll see. So I'm going to start with an invocation, bringing the singing bowl, and then we'll get right into it. So without further ado, thank you, Spirit, for this time that my friend and I are sharing together. Thank you for using me as a vessel to get your messages out. I pray that these messages will help prepare, lead, guide, and fortify my friend for this week. Amen. Okay, so we just had an amazing full moon in Gemini. Me personally, it was a little bit triggering. I had somewhat of an anxiety attack. It was a little scary, not gonna lie. But how was the full moon for you? Tell me in the comments below. I am going to start with one of my all-time favorite oracle decks. I'm going to start with one of my all-time favorite oracle decks, Moonology oracle cards, just to see what was the lesson that we were supposed to take away as a collective from the Gemini full moon. What was the lesson that we were collectively supposed to take away from the Gemini full moon? Let's just see what comes out, what comes through. A personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. All right, Spirit, let's tell me more. Tell the collective more about what personal issue. Okay. What personal issue? Okay, I'm going to take those four. Okay, so the first two cards that came out were Judgment in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse, and I know there's so many broke ass cards around here, y'all. Damn. Anyway, second two cards that came out were Six of Swords and the King of Pentacles. Now, looking at this, the first two cards with the Judgment card in reverse and the Page of Cups in reverse, what this tells me is that someone has been a little judgmental with themselves, not looking at things from a more well-rounded perspective, being a little too harsh. And with the Page of Cups in reverse, to me this speaks of immaturity, and what else is coming through? Immaturity from a water sign. So it could be a Cancer, with this card being full moon in Cancer. It could be a Cancer that was being immature, or another water sign, Pisces or Scorpio. Six of Swords. This came out in our last week reading, so I think that's interesting. In last week's reading, I talked about how if you don't deal with your issues, whatever is coming up for last week, it will come back to haunt you. So seeing this card here in the upright this week, what this tells me is that you're ready to deal with it and get away from the drama. Now, I do believe we had a Court card of Pentacles last week as well. With the King of Pentacles here, this tells me that this could be someone who is just stubborn. This card kind of has a smug look on his face, not gonna lie. And I just saw 555 on the phone here. So this person kind of has a smug look on their face. The bulls here represent Taurus. So you could be dealing with a Taurus or just any other earth sign, Virgo or Capricorn, but I'm really picking up on Cancer and Virgo specifically. Yeah, it just seems like someone's being immature and harsh and not looking at things from an overall perspective, just kind of being stuck in their own ways. Now, I did order a couple samples of different like paper from different suppliers for my own deck, and the samples that they sent were actually really nice oracle cards. So I'm going to like shuffle those and see if we get any messages specific for us. Spirit, how would you have my friend to deal with this situation? How would you have my friend to deal with this situation? Now, with the first card coming out saying that a personal issue reaches resolution, what that specifically tells me is that the full moon in Gemini probably illuminated specific lessons for you within some sort of communication with someone. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like an argument, but with that card being blue, mostly in nature, it's like some sort of communication that came through, and obviously it was very personal. There's also a lot of water in both of those cards, so something tells me that it was very emotional. Now, that's not unheard of when it comes to full moons. Full moons are often very emotional and very high octane when it comes to how people are behaving, just because the moon is fully illuminated. And I don't know if you've ever like talked to nurses who like work in the psych ward or any sort of like behavioral health. They always joke about the full moon because that just enlightens and magnifies our emotions. The moon is the planet that kind of rules our emotions. And so if you were dealing with any sort of heightened emotion over the full moon, like 9 times out of 10, I would say it's nothing to worry about, just because the moon is probably affecting you. Now, I will say you probably want to pay more attention to what came up for you. So there's a saying in therapy that whatever is coming to the surface is also being healed at the same moment. So pay attention to what was triggering you. If you had any specific triggers around the full moon, that is what is coming up to be healed. So maybe this week, as you're resting and recuperating from the moon's intense energies, if you find yourself in that space needing to recuperate, focus on healing that area and paying more attention to that area of wherever those triggers are coming up. So I'm just going to keep shuffling just a little bit. I think I'm going to take that one. And then let's see any affirmations you can work with. Now, all of these decks that I have the samples from, right now I don't know like where they came from, like who the author is, except for this deck, Daily Affirmations by Penelope. But I'm gonna look them up after I'm done recording and see if I can find like where to find these cards if y'all are interested, and put that in the description box. Jesus Christ, this is the most difficulty that I've had in recording a reading for y'all. Okay, so first two cards that came up for affirmations. I practice gratitude daily. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, if you're not, what you doing? Because it's lit over there. Y'all know that for years I have been practicing gratitude daily. Like, I have like a little booklet, probably about this size, where every single morning I record like what I'm grateful for, and I just say like two or three things. I used to be like very like regimented about it, but then I realized that I was just like doing it to tick off a box and not really sitting in that space of being grateful for something. So I think what Spirit is saying with this message here specifically is to just really sit in that spirit of gratitude, like truly be grateful for the things that you have around. Just saw 111 on the camera as I said that. So just truly sit in that spirit of being grateful for what you already have, especially if you're trying to just saw 1111. Okay, if you are trying to manifest something specifically, like you're trying to call in a new blessing, a new car, a new house, a new partner, a new whatever, sit in the gratitude for what you presently have and find ways to already be grateful for that thing. The beauty I see in others is a reflection of the beauty that lives within me. The beauty that I see in others is a reflection of the beauty that is already within me. And I think that just piggybacks greatly off of what I just said about practicing and sitting in the gratitude for the things that are already here. So I know me personally, at times I can get easily caught up with trying to improve, and trying to work toward being whatever next iteration of myself or of my higher self it is that I want to be. But really sitting in this present moment and being grateful for all of the progress that I've already had happen, all of the growth that I've already experienced, all of the hard work, the heartbreaks, the hardship, the obstacles, being grateful for that journey and getting to this place now is what is going to propel me for the next place. And the same is true for you. Like, don't get caught up in trying to hurry up that process and get to that end goal. Abraham Hicks talks about finding the sweetness on the journey and just being so grateful in this present moment for the magic that is already here. And it's not about like not having a goal or an end point. It's more so about just like experiencing that gratitude and experiencing the pleasure that already exists, because you don't have to put yourself in purgatory. You don't have to make yourself suffer. You don't have to, only eat ramen noodles if you're trying to manifest more money. You don't only have to eat ramen noodles so that you can save. Like, find different recipes that you can try right now while you're still saving money. You don't have to, cut out all of your little pleasures. You don't have to stop going to Starbucks. Just try cutting back, maybe. That could be something specific. I'm thinking of that probably because the Pentacles card is staring at me. The next Oracle card, you are wanted. That's such a sweet message. And I feel like it ties back to this Page of Cups in reverse and this full moon in Cancer. This was not supposed to be a love reading, but I feel like maybe someone had an argument with, a romantic partner, and maybe you feel like you're not really wanted and you're questioning that. But let's read what the rest of the card says. The fear of abandonment can be a driving force in our lives. If we felt unwanted as a child, we can continue these patterns into adulthood through compulsively seeking or rejecting the attention of others. Take time to journal about what abandonment and rejection mean to you. How can you show your inner child today that they are wanted? Interesting. It's also interesting that this card talks about inner child work, because pages are often referred to as like the children of tarot. So if you watch other readers who take the cards more literally, you'll often see them refer to like the court cards is like other people in your life, or maybe you in a specific situation, and those are often adults, and pages are often represented as children. But I think what this card says is really beautiful. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you just know me in real life, you know that journaling is something that has been truly transformative in my personal life. I love journaling. I stopped it for a while, but I'm a writer at heart, so I always somehow find my way back to it. Now, the daily affirmation card that came up, I am patient. Everything I have prayed about, worked on, and visualized is in the process of being manifested. I'm gonna read that again, and I want you to take a deep breath. And I just saw 555 on the camera again. I am patient. Everything I have prayed about, worked on, and visualized is in the process of being manifested. I am at peace, knowing it's all about to happen for me. So this card talks about patience and just really relishing in the present moment. So stop worrying about whatever it is that you are calling in. Earlier in the video, I talked about like maybe you're manifesting something and you really need to sit in that spirit of gratitude for what is presently here, because that is what speeds up, and I do air quotes because there's no such thing as time. Like, time is fake as fuck. It's just something that we as humans have constructed to make sense of our experience in this realm, right? So just really focus on being patient. Like, if you've already set intention for something to come out, like you've already burned the candle, you've already done your potion, you've already, did your ritual, whatever, don't worry about it. Like, it's already on its way. Like, you just need to focus on being you, being present, and being happy. Like I said, you don't have to suffer just because you don't already have what it is that you want. Just because the money isn't already in your bank account, or the partner isn't already in your bed, or the car is not already in the garage, or whatever it is that you're manifesting, just because it's not here in this present moment doesn't mean that you don't get to be happy. So I think overall, just to tie this up, put a nice little pretty bow on top. This week, I want you to focus on sitting in the spirit of gratitude. If you don't practice gratitude daily, I'm going to challenge you to either keep a gratitude log. It could just be like a little post-it note or just a little slip of paper, and write down like one thing that you're grateful for, like right now in this present moment. You can do this like at the very beginning of the day or at the end of the day. Sometimes I do it twice a day because sometimes I can really like fall into that space of being like very upset and irritable and just nastiness. And gratitude always pulls me out of that. And it's not so much about comparing myself to the next person and saying like, oh, they have it so much worse, but it's more so about focusing on my damn self. And that's what I want you to do this week. I want you to focus on what it is that you can be truly grateful for right now in this moment. I'm going to close this out with my very own Soothed Chakras deck. This is not the end iteration. I've like changed some of the backing of the cards, and I've got one more test print, and then she'd be ready to sail. I'm so excited for this because this has been literally months in the works. I want to say years, because all of these affirmations I have personally used over the last 3 years or so to get myself out of dark places time and time again. Like, I didn't just wake up and copy this shit off somebody else. Like, these are affirmations that I've used throughout the years. Now, of course, they've been inspired by other mentors, teachers, etc., but all this shit I've used myself, and I tell you, it works. If you aren't familiar with this deck so far, basically there are 49 cards, 7 per each main Western iteration of the chakra, starting from the root going all the way up to the crown, and they're all colored based on the chakra that they're associated with. So 3 cards came out I think one of these cards was in the reading for last week. And it's so interesting when cards keep popping up. And sometimes I personally get annoyed when I see cards over and over again. But to me, what that signifies is that it's just something that still needs to be worked on. Because, again, time, it don't exist. And so sometimes we need to work on things for an extended period of the human iteration of time. But here's what came up. I speak my mind with clarity, precision, and compassion. Now, earlier I said that, there could have been some sort of argument or just communication with someone that didn't go the way that you were anticipating. That doesn't mean that it was an argument, but you can find a way to speak your mind without causing harm to someone. Now, I don't want you to focus on trying to package your words perfectly, but there is a way to go about saying what it is that you want to say. You don't have to be a dick. My creativity brings peace and healing. My creativity brings peace and healing. Okay, so this card is associated with the I don't know why I wanted to say solar plexus. That's not the solar plexus. This is the sacral chakra. Which, again, manifestation keeps coming up to my mind during this reading, and I don't know why, but maybe this message is for someone in the collective that is manifesting and being super worried about what's going on, why isn't it here yet? Use this time to co-create with spirit the reality that you want. And I know you probably have heard other teachers say this in the past, or just you're on social media and stuff, you're probably tired of hearing it. But truly act as if it's here already. Now, if you are trying to manifest money, no, I don't mean go get a credit card and max it out, pretending that you're rich and that you can pay it off. But I mean, think about how you think it will feel to be rich, and sit in that feeling. When you meditate and you visualize, ask yourself, okay, when I am a millionaire, how will that feel? And whatever comes up for you, just sit in that feeling. I know when I visualize during meditation, it is so yummy, so yummy. When I get done meditating and I get up and I go about the rest of my day, I act in that vibration because that's truly how I internally feel. And this is another cliche, but we control the insides of us. We control what goes on up here. Now, sometimes, there are other situations going on where you have impulsive thoughts or intrusive thoughts, and that's all fine. But know that you do have power to redirect that energy. And that's what creativity is for. That's how you co-create with spirit. Now, this one's a little spicy, so I don't know if you're going to have something going on this week or what, but I can see through bullshit easily and without doubting myself. I can see through bullshit easily and without doubting myself. Now, this darker purple in the deck is associated with our third eye. So, really rely on your discernment this week. Really rely on your discernment this week, and don't just go with the first visceral reaction you have, the first thing that comes to mind, oh, they said this and now I'm gonna say this, or I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna jump and whatever. Don't do that. Just really sit with yourself. Some of the most suave people that I've ever encountered in this lifetime, I respect and revere them so much because they don't just react and respond to whatever is externally going on in their situation. They sit with themselves. They aren't quick to speak. They don't rush through their words. They slow down. They take a moment. And it really communicates leadership and debonair is the word that's coming to mind, but it communicates leadership and control, but not control where you're gripping tight onto something. It communicates leadership and groundedness, because it's like, yeah, whatever is going on is like chaos around you. But when you take that moment to collect yourself, to breathe, to really think about what it is that you want to say or what your next move is, you aren't letting the other people control you. I just said a moment ago, like, we control what's on the inside. We control what goes on up here. When we don't let these external forces move us in any direction, we communicate trust to spirit and surrender. And I know the word surrender is like so overused in this space, but truly that's what it communicates. It communicates that I'm a rational human being. I trust in spirit. Not saying that you don't honor your emotions, but really paying attention to not being ruled by your emotions and relying on the fact that it all works out in the end. And I think that's a beautiful way to end this. So have a good week. I'll see y'all on the next video. I don't think I'm gonna edit this one that much. Like, I'm gonna take out, a couple of pieces here and there, but I'm gonna just let it be as is, because again, dealing with perfectionism is huge. But yeah, okay. Ciao.